Fantastic. Oh, looking forward to a good practice this morning. Looking forward to a good stretch. And there's all the gear on the mat. Namaste. Welcome along this morning. We're going to lie back and take some breathing. Use a bolster long ways if you have one, or a nice a rolled blanket, a nice long pillow, and firm is the way to go. You need another pillow for your neck and your head, something that gives you a nice rolled edge to lie back and support your neck, and particularly the length of the neck. I'll go this way, but let me show you before I do, if you're using a strap in Baddha Konasana, have a nice big loop like this. And these are optional. You can have your legs in any configuration you like, but if you're taking Baddha Konasana, the strap will help you to retain the heels in towards the groins, and it goes around in a big loop your waist, around your waist, between your knees and underneath your feet. My tip, as always, is to don't tighten it up too much and be able to have the buckle accessible so that you don't have to disturb yourself when you want to come out of this pose. Don't get stuck here. Have to come up and wrestle your way out of the pose. And the other important fact, or point to note here, is this business here. You just grab hold of the strap with your thumbs, hook it in, or hook it down with your thumbs like this. So it's around your buttocks, your pelvis, and not around your lower back, or certainly your kidneys. Anyway, as I lie back, I move my pelvis a little bit forwards, my tailbone away from the bolster, and this just helps you to get lower back in the right position. You want your lower back to be lengthened, and if it's not comfy for you, you've got to move your buttock bones further, move your tail further away from the bolster. See how it works with the pillow? A nice thick pillow here, supporting the length of the neck from base of the skull to base of the neck. All right, let's just start with arms out. You can close your eyes as you're ready and feel yourself grounded and resting down. Take a deep breath and feel that feeling a little bit more as you breathe out. And just ensure that you're nice and straight up and down the bolster if you're using one, spine fully supported and lengthened, and this pose is terrific for that, including your neck. Take a couple of deeper breaths. Your breathing might be a little bit restricted here initially. Your chest is very open. Are your elbows bent and your palms facing upwardly? This is a terrific illustration of that simple postural opening. And you're welcome to stay like this. You can stretch your legs out any time you like. You can use different leg positions, and of course you don't have to use a strap. If you would like to, you can bring the hands to the body, just wherever they come to, but typically left hand to the heart and right hand on the abdomen, lower rib cage somewhere. Leave your elbows resting on the mat. So you're fully supported. Take another deep breath in and let the weight rest down into bolster, mat, the earth here. A couple of deeper breaths. Very good. Just make sure that you're comfortable. You can make any final adjustments here. And then allow your breathing to flow comfortably, freely, naturally, and easily. And simply observe the flow of your breathing. Feel what you're feeling here. And if we're doing this, we're very present. Therein lies much of the value of this practice. And we begin to notice and feel things about the nature of our breathing. qualities of the breath. Is it beginning to flow more easily as your chest opens and your shoulders accommodate here the supported opening that the bolster, the props bring? Are you finding any sense of opening as you breathe in, releasing as you breathe out? Feel the movement of your body as you breathe. And as we tune in more to the breath, the body, sensations, feelings, we become more present. Brain activity slows. Space develops, both physically, hips, shoulders, groins, rib cage, back, spine, neck, and mentally. We become more attuned to our surroundings, perhaps hearing the birds. Small sounds and movements, perhaps. This is very typical of the first stages of meditation as the senses draw back into the body. So space, opening, clarity develops. And we begin to feel our existence, to notice where we are, what we are, and what we're doing. Just a few more breaths. Make the most of this time this morning. If you're in that yoga strap, you can reach down anytime and release the strap. And stretch your legs out if you haven't already. Lengthen those legs. Rest the arms again out by your sides. Be stable, grounded, lengthened, and finish off with a few comfortable and easy breaths. Soak up this space. And notice now the quality and the feel of your breathing. And last, long, full breath in. Feel that opening and expansion. Breath out. Go with that release, any sense of release. You're welcome, of course, to stay a little longer if you choose. I recommend you bring your knees up, bend your knees up, and roll off to your side, just rolling down the side of the bolster and cushioning, pillowing the head with your arm and your elbow. Be comfortable here and hold this space. Just let your eyes open gently. And take as long as you need. Take your time coming out. You come up gently, slowly. There's no sudden movements, and it is very individual. Just take your time. You can turn your bolster around across your mat, And we'll stretch forwards over the bolster. Excuse me. There is a small component of back bend, particularly through the lumbar spine in the previous support. And, you know, that's kind of individual, isn't it? You've got to be comfortable. Now we'll take a few long breaths, about 10 breaths here, and let ourselves stretch out, particularly through the lower back. If you have a bolster, have your elbows just forwards of the top of the bolster. Wherever you are, keep your head up for a few breaths and let yourselves do exactly that. Let the lumbar spine release, let the hips release. And you'll know this is happening because you can feel yourself starting to sit back and to lengthen back. Stretch your arms gently, hands, fingers gently activate it. And again, in your own time, just let the brow rest on top of the bolster here. The third eye between the eyebrows, Ajna chakra. This rests very nicely into the top of the bolster here, the bridge of the nose. Find again that feeling of opening and releasing as you breathe here. And encourage a little bit of opening through the shoulders now by gently rolling inner arms upwardly. Keep your fingers and your hands gently active. And for your last few breaths, can you lengthen a little more between fingertips and buttock bone? Do you have any sense of the sternum, the chest bone moving forwards as your middle back softens? Lovely, long, steady breaths. Feel free to stay longer. It's a nice pose, isn't it? And it may take some time for us to release. You can come out as you're ready there. And we'll do a little bit of rolling from side to side. Or any rotational movement that is comfortable for you. If you're not on your knees and your ankles and your feet, you can sit and rotate here the legs from side to side, or take some circles, hip circles, sitting in cross legs. If you're doing this one, you can stretch your fingers a little bit more, take some weight. You can stretch your feet a little bit more, and taking weight here. That's it. And let's do this stretch for the arches of your feet. Also, just take a little bit of weight there, turning the toes under. Good morning. Welcome along. How are you feeling this morning? A little quieter, a little more centered, a little more present? Any time spent with your breathing is wonderful. However you do it. And that's a rather nice way to prop up and breathe, isn't it? Okay, we're going to take a simple squat. You can pop yourselves up on your prop here, block, bolster, pillow, and just hug the knees into the chest. So you feel the chest bone lifting, draw the shoulders down, and see if you can draw the shoulder blades down. And just notice with the position of your shoulders how you can influence the opening through the upper back and the chest. Squeeze in, lift up. It's good if you press your feet nice and evenly. And I'm adjusting on exhalation, squeezing in, lifting the front body, drawing down through the back plane. Feels nice. Just move your head a little bit. Neck release, always available to us as we open the chest and release the shoulders. All right, let's bring left foot forwards, shall we say. Right foot about hip width to the right. And we're going to start with this simple Marishasana twist. So any prop here will help you to soften, support, and go deeper in this pose. But just go gently. It's about how we approach our twists. And with a bit of distance between right foot and left leg, it's going to open us a little bit more. Any kind of purchase you can take here around the knee. And just move your head a little bit here as well. So leading shoulder point to trailing shoulder point. Take deeper breaths in. So you back off on your twist a little. And you exhale and adjust. And don't forget your neck release. You move your head here and explore and feel and encourage space, opening and release, particularly if there's any areas that are a little bit tight. All right, from here, I'm going to take the right foot out a little bit and stretch forwards. And you might take your left foot out a little bit too, so you've got some room to move. I'm using a block. You can just use the mat, the fingers, and you might be able to draw the chest bone forwards and the shoulders back a little. Depending on how you do this, you just find a way to lean forwards and lengthen with your chest bone. Good to stretch your left leg. You can squeeze the quad, lengthen out through big toe. Good to press the right foot down. That's the raised leg. And you can transpose these instructions if you're doing the other leg. But the focus is hip, lower back, middle back, chest bone. Draw the shoulders back and release your neck and your head. That's it. So we're going to come back into twist, still on the same side, and perhaps going a little deeper. See how that feels for you. Don't force it. Use the trailing arm to lift you up. So you want that sternum to really lift up that chest bone. Feel the spine lengthen as your middle back opens out. Now if you do have elbow outside knee, press the two together and particularly press the knee wide. Look forwards, look behind, move your head, or park the head in whatever position feels best for you to encourage opening and release through the neck. Can you broaden your chest, broaden your upper back? Use your hands and your arms to advantage here. That's nice. All right, to change sides, I'm just going to come back to that little sitting forward bend. That's it. And it's a forward bend because your knees and your chest are coming closer together. You're flexing at the hip, the pelvis. But it's an upright one. And you might find that lengthening of your sternum a little bit more as you hug the knees in. That's it. Press evenly with your feet. And see if you can draw shoulders, shoulder blades down. And there goes that lovely bit of neck release as well. Try some little figure eights here. It's like a big head wobble. Or a little one. That's it. Very nice for your neck. And your shoulders. And then we'll go the other way. Just stretch the right leg out or just swap sides and have some distance between right knee and left foot. Hip width is good. Easy twist to start with is better, I think. Give yourselves lots of room to move. Take some deep breaths. Activate the long leg, squeezing the quad, pressing out through the big toe, stretching the little toes. Use the arms here, especially that trailing arm. Well, both of them, they work very well in twist to help you lift, broaden and open the chest. Sit those shoulders back and feel the neck release that comes, and then move into that, explore that space. Feels good, should feel really nice. That's it. All right, and from there we go forwards. I'm just widening my stance a little bit, so I've got some room to move. It makes it a bit hippier. And you may find it's a bit easier on one side than the other. This is a pretty good read on your lower back. And your middle back. And your lower back you're feeling through this leg, the raised leg. And the middle back you're feeling more as you lengthen through the chest bone. And use hands to advantage here. Try and sit those shoulders back and move the chest bone forwards. Pull the back ribs, the thoracic spine in towards the heart. However it works best for you. And you can be inventive here. Some of you will go deeper, deeper, and deeper. Stretch that long leg. Stay nice and active there. Hold as long as you like, especially if it's a little tighter for you on this side or you're just really hitting the spot there. Take advantage of a few extra breaths. That's it. Maybe a little deeper in your second twist. See if you can get into middle and upper back a little bit more. Shoulders, neck. So twists typically start in the lower back. Feel your ability to open out into the pose. And if you can do that, you're getting it pretty right, which is one of the reasons why I suggest that you just go easy to start with. Don't be near your maximum. Leave yourself some room to move. Breathe here. Breathe. And breathe. That's good. Extra breaths on offer. Take that opportunity. Little stretch here to equalize, even out, and integrate both sides of the back, both sides of the spine. Lift up, open out. Feel the length and the release. And then prop up, come up to easy Uttanasana. About hip width with your feet. Knees well bent. Lift those groins and just shake it out through the upper body a little bit here. It's kind of a bit of a wriggle through shoulders, elbows. Look at your feet and stretch out your toes and press evenly through your feet. And don't struggle, go easy, bend your knees, lift your groins and allow time for your pelvis to tip as your legs start to stretch, keeping your back nice and soft. You can walk your hands around to the right side of the mat, lift the groins, and if the head is coming down, you can look behind, back past your right knee. Keep the groins lifting. Feel your feet, your legs, inner and backs of the legs, and you'll feel your quads. And feel that pelvis rolling over the top of your leg bones. Feel your chest bone lengthening. Good signs that your back is softening. Bring your hands to the other side of the mat or a little further, but don't go too far. I'm just peering back past my left knee, left shin here. Breathe deeply. You want to have enough softness and space about this pose that you can feel your back releasing as your legs stretch. That sort of feeling there. That's good. All right, come up to nice steady breath in, lift the inner arms, look forwards and step back. Step back to the back of the mat and take a long lunge here for a few breaths. And see if you can lengthen between your back heel going backwards and again that sternum, that chest bone coming forwards. Lift your inner arms. Now sit your shoulders back and release your neck. Turn yourselves around to access the other side and lengthen now. Long breaths out down this side of the body, this side of the back, this leg, both inner arms, and out through that sternum. Sit the shoulders back, move the head. You can take some deep breaths here if you like. Should feel pretty good. That's nice. I'm going to turn back to the first side, and as I drop the back knee down, I'm propping up a little bit higher on the front body. So fingertips, bolster, blocks. Just let the tailbone descend a little bit more now. Take long breaths and feel that those buttock bones can curl a little tiny bit towards the front of your mat. Now open and broaden the chest and release the neck. Long, full and steady breaths. Should feel good. Should feel nice. You can feel yourself opening and expanding as you breathe in, softening and lengthening as you breathe out. Remember to hold these longer on your tight side and take the opportunities. So do you see how this works? From a long lunge, a runner's lunge, you just drop the back knee down. And that's a pretty good stance. That's a ballpark stance. You can lengthen it, you can shorten it. Hands under the shoulders. Deep breaths. Feel the chest lift, broaden and open as the lower back lengthens, the tailbone descends, the buttock bones curl very gently forwards. Not much, just a tiny, tiny bit. Don't let them go backwards. Release your neck. Stay. Longer, extra breaths is good. And come out. Come back to easy Uttanasana with plenty of lift in those groins. You'll find your pelvis tips more now. Your feet will press more evenly. You can stretch your toes. Stay as you are, shaking it out, or bring the arms up and over in Urdhva Hastasana. Lift those groins. And I'm going to the left side of my mat, looking back past the left knee. Lifting inner legs, lifting inner arms. Breathing with full and steady breaths and feeling what's going on here on the side. If it's a little strong for you, bend your knees. Find some space, some opening. Very good. All right, come out with a deep breath in and out, and we're going to sit back down in Sukhasana here with some easy cross legs. Better if you can flex your feet a bit more actively, draw toes back, lengthen out through heels relative to center of the mat. Sit the buttock bones back and apart, and let's work into some movement here. That's it. Lengthen out. And if you're feeling hips, lower back, and middle back, that's nice. Sit the shoulders back. Should feel good. Rotate around through these areas here and feel your range of movement slowly deepen. Nice soft moves here. And very good for encouraging range of movement and release. You can sit yourself up on your bolster or block. As you're ready, stay with Sukhasana or come to Siddhasana. And the difference being now the heels coming closer together rather than going apart. That's it. And sit up nice and tall. And do you feel how it's easier to do that when you sit on your props there? So use the one that works best for you. Give yourselves a big hug, drawing the shoulders down, broadening that upper back, lengthening the neck. And stay as you are, or release the arms and come to Garudasana, and just bringing or rotating very gently the thumbs towards the face. Lift the shoulder, lift the chest, drop the shoulders down. Do you feel how that works? My right arm is on top, and I'm bringing chin to right shoulder point here. Stay upright. Don't bend in the spine, or better, don't lose the healthy shape. Look to promote length, the healthy shape of your spine. Feel how your shoulders got a lot to do with that. Release, other side, which just means other arm on top. You can take shoulder points, you can take scapula, shoulder blades, if you can hook in there. And you can take Garudasana anytime you're ready. And you may notice it's a bit easier to rotate the hands, the thumbs, gently, not aggressively, around towards the face on one side than the other. And this is deep, deep into the shoulder girdle. Do you feel your shoulder blades coming apart? Now draw them down a little bit. You might lift the elbows a fraction and draw the shoulders down. It gets stronger, doesn't it? So gently. Chin to left shoulder point if that arm is on top, and right if you're on the other side. See how that works with a couple of deep breaths. Should feel good. Lots of opening through the upper body. Roll your shoulders out when you come out. Give yourselves a hug. You want to do that every day, whether you're doing your yoga practice or otherwise, but it's pretty good for your shoulders and your neck, isn't it? Your upper back. Okay, now lie back down. You may need your strap here. And we're going to use, well, I am anyway, a nice thick pillow to help me keep neck lengthened, shoulders away from ears. And strap just makes it a bit easier, I think. All right, one leg up, one leg bent. Just wrap that strap. If you're using a strap, wrap it around your hands. Let the arms be straight, the shoulders rest down, and the leg is straight. There might be a micro bend in that knee. Squeeze the quad. Lengthen through inner leg, big toe, back of the leg, but relax the shoulders. Take deep breaths. So very individual when you're stretching the legs, but the key point is to go gently and gradually. You want to feel that this stretch, that release through the back of the leg can continue nice and gradually. So it might be a strap. Some of you will have the big toe with your peace fingers here, index finger, middle finger, around the inside of the big toe. I like to have the outside of the foot and really press out through that big toe, whatever the grip. Deep breaths. The more you relax your shoulders, eyes, face, neck, ear. So you can close your eyes if you choose, the better it is. Nice deep breath in and out. And you may feel like you've just come to a starting point, and that's enough. That's okay. Draw that knee in. Take hold of the outside of the left foot with the right hand, toe end. And you can reverse again these instructions, but it's opposite hand to the foot, toe end. Same hand, same side, same leg, inside the heel. Deep breaths. So you may still feel some hamstring here. This sequence is super for your hammies, stretching both ends of the hamstring in the previous pose, and now through the belly of the hamstring. Some of you will stretch the other leg out. Go gradually, steadily, soften, and breathe. And last deep breath in and out. Yes, good. All right, going back up with that strap, and if you've got a strap, use it here. Taking same hand, same side, so left leg, left hand, right arm out, just holding for a few breaths here. Might be able to stretch the other leg out now. Squeeze your quads, activate your toes and your feet, and that's your arches working, and your inner leg, so you press out through your big toe, ball of the big toe. All right, now we're going to roll over into a twist. So you bend your your top leg, actually bend both of them, and you roll yourself over like this. You're going to change hands with the strap. All right. Now I want to be nice and straight up and down the mat with lower leg, chest bone, neck, head. That means my spine is straight. And I stretch that long leg. The top leg can stay bent to start with. Stretch the bottom leg, stretch the other arm out. Gaze point is directly overhead. Breathing is deep, although somewhat restricted, isn't it? Lengthen that neck, lengthen that bottom leg, and last of all, as you breathe out, you start to lengthen the top leg. And it may take you 5 to 10 breaths here to straighten that top leg, and you may not. But that's okay. If you can, then you can also start to draw the leg up a little bit more, but don't pull yourself out of shape. Breathe deeply and lengthen from heel to head, outstretched leg. from hip to shoulder, top side of the body. And last of all, through that leg on top, which is left leg for me. Last deep breath. In and out. And do stay longer here. If you feel like you're really starting to get somewhere with this twist, and it does take some time to open into, please do. We're simply going to rest briefly in easy Shavasana for a few breaths in between to feel what's going on down that side of the body. So you might be finishing your twist, you might be resting. I stretched the left leg and did left side in twist, and I can feel warmth and heat and energy coursing up and down the left side of the body, through heart center and across the chest. This is prana, life force. Wonderful, fundamental energy that we all have. But we need to find it sometimes. Can you feel it now? You may like to stay here a few breaths more. It's quite profound, isn't it? You find that space. It's pretty good. Before you take the other leg up, and start with a gentle, an easy Supta Padangusthasana, hand to toe pose, reclining hand to toe. And you may use a strap. You may indeed have the big toe or the outer foot. Go gently, go gradually, and add value and depth to the pose, to your practice, with long, full, and steady breaths. And these poses, these holds, aren't about how far you stretch your leg over your head. It's about how we breathe, how we go gradually, maintain focus, hang in there, soak it up. That's what brings depth and value to our practice. So you might find yourself staying for an extra breath or two. It's a wee bit tighter on this side. You can drop down to your reclining lunge anytime you're ready. So I'm bringing left hand outside right foot, toe end, right hand inside right heel, and drawing that thigh in. Relax your shoulders, make sure your neck remains long, and you may be able to lengthen it a little bit more. Use your pillow to advantage. Take the variation that lets you gradually deepen your release. If you're feeling a bit of hamstring here, that's fantastic. A super release. And that hamstring component is part of what makes it so therapeutic for your back, particularly lower back and hip. So relax the shoulders, don't overdo it. All right, going back up to Supta Padangusthasana, just briefly. So we go a little tiny bit deeper, exploring lengthening both legs perhaps, activating both feet, toes, arches, inner legs, backs of the legs, tops of the legs. And then with opposite hand now to foot, and both legs bent, over you go. Key point here, line yourself up with bottom leg, hip, head, and you can lift your head, lift your leg and see where you're at. That length there between heel and head, we want to deepen, to lengthen, to increase. And do that first before you start to stretch that top leg, right leg for me now. Strap in left hand. There's a good twist going on through the abdomen here. So we need to breathe. And just taking long, full breaths here is going to be a super release for you. Stretch the bottom leg and start to gently bring length to the top leg. Let the chest broaden, the outstretched arm lengthen. Make sure your pelvis is rotated sufficiently here. If your pelvis is facing upwardly, you're kind of missing the point here. You actually want top hip on top of bottom hip, or even a tiny bit forwards of that, not behind. Last few breaths. Can you lengthen your neck, bottom leg, your outstretched arm, and maybe the top leg? Breathe here. These are the breaths that really count. All right. Stay a little longer. Rest in easy Shavasana. Breathe. Wherever you are, breathe. And feel what you're feeling. Sensation, movement, warmth, energy, prana. And underlying all that smooth and steady inhalation and exhalation. Bring right foot onto left knee. Flex that right foot and just work the right knee away from the body a little bit here, pressing the left foot into the mat. This is the feel, the direction, the nature of your hip release. And with foot flexed and knee protected, the release comes from the hip. So you can stay with this, or you can reach through and around that left knee, however you can get hold of it, threading the needle and lengthening the neck back down along your pillow. And those of you that want to go a little deeper with this one, you can lengthen the head, the neck back down along the mat. Take the pillow out, it makes it stronger. Pulse a little bit to the left side if you're hanging on to your left knee, to the right side if you're hanging on to the right knee. And then rock to the left side of the back of the pelvis and hold there for a few breaths. You don't have to go very far here. And again, if you're on the mat with no pillow, it will be stronger. Make sure your neck is lengthened. Your raised foot is flexed and active. And release into hip rotators, lower back. Support your knee. Change sides as you're ready. Left foot on right knee. You might bring that right foot in a little bit and work the left knee. Rotate through left hip. Activate through left foot. Reach through and thread the needle as you're ready. Take the variation that allows you to gradually deepen. So you work on, around, a little back from your edge here and progressively deepen. So some little bit of rocking here towards the right side. I'm hanging on to my right knee. And then I rock to the right and stay there. Lengthen your neck. Release your shoulders away from your ears. And take deep breaths here. It's a deep tissue release. Feel what you're feeling and practice accordingly. Stay longer if you need. When you come out, circle the knees one way and the other. And we'll take a minute or two lying back over our bolster pillow prop. You can use anything you like here, pretty much. As long as it's right in the middle of your middle back, get yourself right up on top. Yeah. A little bit of shoulder blades if you're using a bolster, and lengthen yourselves. Lengthen by your chest bone over the bolster. Draw shoulder blades down. And if you're using a pillow to reduce intensity in the pose, it just reduces the strength of the back bend. Have a little gap there between pillow and bolster. Lean your knees against each other, feet wide, turn the toes in, lean the knees. And feel that opening through the chest. It's more supported and deeper as a result. Follow your breathing, very similar to the posture we did at the start of the practice today. Can you feel your elbows bent, palms facing upwardly, that natural opening and release of the upper body? And yes, breathing is somewhat restricted here also. This is a very good illustration of gently lengthening and deepening the breath to open out into a pose. Don't force it, but it's a fairly fine line here, isn't it? The last few breaths. You want to be in the ballpark. You want to prop up accordingly. Start manageably and deepen your release. If you can finish with a couple of deep breaths, that's fantastic. That's really nailing that target there, that beautiful range of opening and release over the hold of the pose, the life of the pose. If you can work with that practice, that principle throughout all of your poses, you'll be doing some fabulous practice for yourselves. You roll out and we'll take albatross to finish. So I'm on my lower ribs here and I'm taking my hands as far apart as I can. Forearms are resting on the mat, elbows are resting, hands are resting. It's a bit easier when you use a bolster or a pillow under your lower ribs. And now the head rests. The chin rests for me on bicep, tricep, upper arm. And we breathe here. And let the shoulder blades come apart. Let the shoulders soften. And you'll feel your neck lengthen a little bit here if you can just find it somewhere to rest your chin. And maybe your nose, but make sure you can breathe. There's been some very nice upper body work today. Some great work for shoulders, neck, upper back, chest. Change sides there. Hold these as long as you like. Let your shoulders gradually draw back towards the bolster a little here. It feels like the arms are lengthening. And that's your shoulders opening. There's some big, strong muscle groups here. It's also your upper back opening. It's a terrific stretch for rhomboids between shoulder blades and all those stabilizing muscle groups that stabilize shoulder blades, shoulder girdle. The This makes them very good poses for your neck also. All right, when you release, you can come out and lie back down. You can swing your legs up the wall, or you can come up and sit, as you choose. Be comfortable, be lengthened, and sit or rest evenly, both sides of the body, down. Lift, broaden and open your chest. And if you're resting down, do that more easily, more supportedly by drawing your shoulder blades. Pin your shoulder blades a little further down your back. Look for length through the neck. Might move your head a little bit. And take a couple of deep breaths here that open you and allow you to rest down more fully, to subside into the mat. And if you're sitting, that just means take your weight a little bit more through what's supporting you, but lift up, stay lengthened, open. Breathe now. Also are the breaths that really count in our practice. Let yourselves go deeper. Stay with your breathing. And soak up these last few breaths. Feel free to stay longer. When you do finish with a long breath in and out. And prepare yourselves gently to come out gradually. If you're sitting, bow the head. Keep chest lifted, shoulders back. If you're reclining, whenever you come out, just gently move the body, small movements, and roll onto your side. Eyes down is a great place to open your eyes. So we gently reorientate ourselves with the physical world, the external environment, having ideally been a little more internal, a little more space, a little more present during our relaxation. And the more we practice that, the deeper we go and move towards meditation, where we approach a single point of focus. Often the third eye, Ajna chakra. Just lift your head, lift your gaze, roll out, come up slowly as you're ready. Namaste. Well done this morning. And if you're still resting quietly and breathing, good luck to you. Very good. How do you feel? How's your breathing now? Fantastic. All right. I come and see you on the other side of the camera. Well done.